There's a age-old minhag, an, an old tradition that's still very prevalent today in North America, in Israel, I guess Europe as well, all over, the minhag of staying up the night of Shavuot and learning Torah all night, having different synagogues, different yeshivas, have shir, chavrusa, and the minhag is to learn all night. Different reasons why. Well, Shavuot is the time of Matan Torah, so what better time to show you dedication to Torah? Some point out the medrash that the Jews fell asleep, so therefore we are, so to speak, misaken dechay, we stay up all night. Whatever the reasons behind the minhag, it's a common custom. So this would probably be, this is really the question. The questions we're going to have tonight is really true about any night. We'll just use Shavuot as an example because that's the night where people stay up all night. But this question will not be limited to Shavuot. The questions that come up regarding what do you do. So the first question that comes up is the question of Birkas HaTorah. The question if one is awake all night, so the next morning, we know every morning in davening in the Birkas HaShachar, we make a Birkas HaTorah, La'asok b'divrei Torah, v'harevna, asher bacha banu. We make it every morning. The question is, why do we make it every morning? Is that because we went to sleep and we woke up? Or every day, the day itself requires one to make a new Birkas HaTorah? So this is a major discussion among the Rishonim. Rabbeinu Tam, Tosfos quotes Rabbeinu Tam in Brachas Yud Aleph Amud Beis. He writes that a new set of brachas are required every morning. So the opinion of Rabbeinu Tam is every morning you are required, I guess Pashas every morning at Alos HaShachar, or maybe midrabanan we wait until Nates perhaps. But really, strictly speaking, the next day, Alos HaShachar, one is required to make a new bracha, and therefore, according to Rabbeinu Tam, let's say, according to Rabbeinu Tam, let's say one woke up, it was in the middle of the night, it was 3 in the morning, he could continue, and he wants to get up and learn, he could learn without a bracha. It wouldn't be until the next morning, according to Rabbeinu Tam, unless you want a taina, according to Rabbeinu Tam, maybe that's his cycle, but Pashtus is the next day requires the bracha. It's a discussion within Rabbeinu Tam among the Achronim whether if you woke up at 3 o'clock and you stayed up the rest of the night, would you require a new Birkas HaTorah? But Pashas Rabbeinu Tam is you wouldn't need a new bracha. That's the opinion of Rabbeinu Tam. And the Rush, as well, is quoted there in Brachas. He writes, it's nothing to do with a different day. It's the regular dini hefsek, dins of interruption. We know we have a halacha by brachas, as long as you're not mafsik in between, the bracha goes on. So therefore, in other words, according to the Rush, in theory, if you stayed up for 3 days in a row, and you were continuously learning, or you were up, so there would be no need, as long as there was no interruption from learning, so therefore you would make a new bracha. Of course, that's Tosfos kasha that how come every time we walk in and out of the sukkah, we need a new bracha, but by Torah, one bracha works. But whatever we answer to the question, the fact still remains, we make one bracha in the morning. So, it's a major machlokas rishonim between the Rush and Rabbeinu Tam. What is the reason why every morning when we wake up we make a Birkas HaTorah? Is it, as the Rabbeinu Tam says, it's a new day, is the Mechayiv who generates the obligation to make a new bracha. And every day one is obligated to new bracha, whether you slept or you were up all night. According to the Rush, it's a regular DNA hefsek. As if you had an interruption during your day, so perhaps even according to the Rush then, if you slept during the day, you had a 3-hour power nap during the day, so Pashas then, according to the Rush, one would have to make a new bracha. So that's the machlokas Rosh Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam, even if you slept, it doesn't make a difference, or even if you were up, each day requires you to make a bracha, and according to the Rush, it has to do with Medine Hefsek, with the laws of interruptions. According to Rabbeinu Tam, if you slept during the day, it wouldn't make a difference. You have one bracha whether you slept or up. According to the Rush, it would make a difference. So how do we paskin in Shulchan Aruch if it's the Machlokes Rishonim, the Rush and Rabbeinu Tam? So the Rav Yosef Karo paskins in the Shulchan Aruch, he quotes the Machlokes whether if one sleeps during the day for a significant amount of time, he discusses the Machlokes on whether one should recite a bracha or not. He writes, the Mechaber writes, the minhag is not to repeat another set of brachas. If you slept during the day, you don't have to make a new set of brachas. The Mishabura, if I remember correctly, says something about Hamavarach lo hifsid, you don't lose. But the Shulchan Aruch says that the minhag is not to make. If you slept during the day, you don't make a new bracha. That's one Mechaber. And another place, the Mechaber also implies that what if you stay up all night? So he says if you stay awake the entire night, you also don't make a new bracha. So the mashma from the Mechaber that whether he says if you sleep during the day, you don't have to make a new bracha. That's mashma. It's like Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam says that doesn't make a difference. You make one bracha every day. And the fact that you don't need a new bracha the next morning because you're up, that seems to work with the Rush. So that's what the Maggid Avram points out. So it's the Machlokes Rabbeinu Tam and the Bali Tosfos in terms of whether tufo, if one sleeps during the day, so according to Rabbeinu Tam, no need for a bracha because it's one bracha in the morning. And according to the Rush, you have to make a new bracha. However, if one stays up all night, so according to the Rush, again, there'll be, if one stays up, according to the Rush, it's all Medine Hefsek. If you stay up all night, there's no need for a bracha in the morning. If you sleep during the day, you do. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it doesn't make a difference, sleep or up. Every morning you require a new bracha. So the Maggid Avram points out that the Shulchan Aruch seems to imply both ways. It seems to on one hand, it seems to take both halachas. That if, on one hand, if you sleep 2 hours during the day, you don't need a new bracha like Rabbeinu Tam. Yet it also says you don't make a bracha if you're up all night. So Rabbi Akiva Eger wants to defend the position of the Shulchan Aruch. That really he wants to say we follow Rabbeinu the Rosh Shita. That the issue of whether making a new bracha is Medine Hefsek. And so if it's Medine Hefsek, so how come the minhag is that if one sleeps during the day, we don't make a bracha? So that's only because L'choshesh v'shitas Rabbeinu Tam, who holds Jidon and Safek brachos lo hakel. And therefore, but really, the Shulchan Aruch's opinion is consistent, and therefore he seems to just go chumrah in both directions. However, Rabbi Akiva Eger has a suggestion: if one takes a power nap during the day, then you could cover all shitas. Well, according to the Rush, let's say this year should be easy because it's Saturday night. So Shabbos, everyone takes a nice Shabbos nap. So you're sleeping. So when you wake up, really, according to the Rush, you're chayiv in a new bracha, but we're not going to make one. But still, according to the Rush, even if you stayed up all night, but you had to have 6, so you should make it right away, but you still, in the next morning, you're chayiv in a bracha. And according to Rabbeinu Tam, you chayiv in a bracha anyway in the morning. So Rabbi Akiva Eger suggests if one takes a power nap during the day, Erev Shavuos, then everyone should agree that on Shavuos morning one could make the Birkas HaTorah. That seems to be the practice. And let's say one push comes to shove, if one doesn't, if push comes to shove, let's say you stay up the whole night and everyone's up, so push comes to shove, probably like the Magen Avraham and others, you could probably make a new Birkas HaTorah. What about regarding some other brachas? The Birkas HaShachar, so the brachas we make in the morning, in the beginning of davening. So, is it appropriate to say, let's say if you're up all night, Elokai Nishma, or Hamaveh Shenai, if you're up all night, are you still permitted to make the bracha? So there's a general machlokes regarding Birkas HaShachar in the morning. If you didn't personally experience the event, could you make the bracha? So we know we make the bracha with the rooster, even though we don't hear the rooster sound. So the Rambam writes that one should not. Yet, the Ran says yes, because it's not going on us, it's on Minhago Sha'olam. And the Shulchan Aruch follows the Machaber Pasuk like the Rambam, but the Ramah goes with Rabbeinu Nissim. The minhag seems to be that one makes we make the bracha with the rooster. So comes along the Achronim, the Eliyahu Rabbah and others, that if one wasn't awake the entire night, you should make the bracha Hamaveh Shenar Elokai Neshama. And he seems to be saying it both according to the Machaber, both according to the Ramah. That these two brachas are different, that these two you have to experience. That's the minhag, that Birkas HaTorah, usually you have someone sleeping, but if not, at least there's what to discuss. According to many, you could still make the bracha. But Hamaveh Sheina and Elokai Neshama, even according to the Ramah, normally said you don't have to experience the bracha, but these two seem to be the exception, and therefore, unless you slept at least half an hour during the night, one should listen to the brachas from someone else. What about the mitzvah of tzitzis? So, in general, there's a discussion whether tzitzis lav zman laila, lav zman laila. So if you can fulfill the mitzvah, if the mitzvah is fulfilled at night, so therefore there's no need for a new bracha. But if there's no mitzvah at night, then obviously the next morning you have a new bracha. So what we do anyway is to avoid the shaila and the tzitzis, because it's a question whether you make a bracha or not. So either the prevalent custom is someone who's married, or someone who, even if you're not married, if you wear a talis gadol, so you listen to the bracha on the talis gadol. If not, perhaps changing your talis katan the next morning. So the minhag seems to be you work out, you make a new bracha on the tzitzis, and in general anyway, that's a shaila, you make a bracha on the talis katan. In the first place, most people make a bracha on the talis gadol. But there's the meaning for those who don't wear a talis gadol, so then it would be the shaila. And also regarding one more shaila, the question of netilas yadayim. If you're up all night, you have to make a netilas yadayim. So the question is, why do you have to make a netilas yadayim in the first place? So according to Rabbeinu Asher the Rosh, you have to wash your hands before tefillah, because by yadayim asklani is saying your hands are dirty, and therefore you have to make a bracha because your hands touch places which aren't normally touched. And according to the Tshuvas HaRashba, the obligation to wash one's hands is because you're a Beria Chadasha. So it's two different. So according to the Rashba, it's a Beria Chadasha, but according to the Rush, it's only if your hands are dirty. So how do we pass in? So in the Machaber, Rav Yosef Cairo discusses, actually in the base Yosef, whether the one who stays up, he notes, he says, according to the Rush, you only can make a bracha if your hands are dirty, if you just went to the bathroom. According to the Rashba, unless you slept, so therefore you wouldn't be obligated. So therefore, in Shulchan Aruch, he paskins the one who was up the entire night, there's a shiloh whether he's obligated to wash or not. And the Ramah rules that one should wash his hands without a bracha. However, the Mishnah Berurah writes, and this seems to be the practice, most Achronim say that one should go to the bathroom before you go to davening, before you daven, and therefore you have at least the rush to rely on, and one can make a bracha. So those are some of the issues that could come up any night of the year when you stay up all night, but since the prevalent custom is on Shavuot to stay up all night, so we have the issue of Birchas HaTorah, the Machokas Rabbeinu Tam and the rush, on whether Rabbeinu Tam you make a bracha every morning regardless, or according to the rush it's Medini Hefsek, and that fits into what we discussed last time as well, the issue of whether Birchas HaTorah is a Birchas HaMitzvah. So according to the rush, it seems to be a Birchas HaMitzvah, but according to Rabbeinu Tam, it seems to be a Birchas HaShabbat. Every morning when it's obligated to thank God, that we got the Torah, and therefore the nafka would be if you sleep during the day, if you need a new bracha, or if you're up all night. So we seem to go with Rabbeinu Tam in the sense that we don't make the bracha during the day when we wake up, but yet many have a practice to make it at night. The others are machmer, both directions. The question why they say savik brachas or hakya, because Birchas HaTorah is deraisa. And then we have the issue of Birchas HaShachar. Do you have to only make the brachas that relate to you in general? The Rambam writes in Hilchos Tefillah that you don't make a bracha, let's say if you don't hear the rooster, or the Rabbeinu Nissim in Psachim, Daf Daled Amud Aleph, writes that one does, even if you don't hear, because it's a minhag shalom. And in Shulchan Aruch seems to go like the Rambam, and the Ramah goes like Rabbeinu Nissim, etc. So we seem to go with that with Duran, except for two brachas, Avachai Neshama and Amav Shena, we seem to go that you actually have to experience yourself. We had the issue of sitzis, whether you have to make a new bracha or not. So our minhag is we listen to someone who's making on a talis gadol, or you just take your sitzis off. Or we have the issue by Netilas Yadayim, why do you need Netilas Yadayim in the morning at all? According to the Rush, because your hands are dirty. According to the Rashi, you're Barbariya Chadasha. So our minhag is, the Mishnah Berurah writes, the consensus of the Achronim is that you go to the bathroom, wash your hands, so therefore you at least have the rush to rely on, and that seems to be the minhag, that one makes a bracha even if you're up all night of Netilas Yadayim.